Good morning. As we are coming to a close soon on the halachas of Shemitah, I thought I would occasionally discuss different halachic topics, whatever topics either come to me or people raise that they would like a discussion of. I want to start with something I said years ago at the Siyam on the Yerushalmi. I call it Toras Bavel, the Toras Eretz, the Torah of Babylonia, and the Torah of Eretz, or Torah Hamevii Bavel, the Torah Hamevii Eretz. Or you could say it's the Torah that brings you to Babylon, or the Torah that brings you to Eretz. So there's a well-known Gemara in Yevmot, in the Bavli, where it says, Tashma, come in here. Afal pi shenachleku beis Shammai, even though Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel disagreed on many different things, b'tsaros, concerning co-wives, when someone would need yibum or not, meaning according to Beis Hillel, if you have two co-wives and one of them is related to the brother, for instance, a man is allowed to marry his niece. So if a man married his niece, obviously the brother, who's the father, cannot marry his daughter. Just like he can't marry her, he can't marry her tzara, her co-wife. Whereas Beis Shammai allows such a marriage. ובאחיות, and with sisters, beget yashan, an old get. This is a get that was written, and after that the couple was alone together. ובספק, and when we're not sure whether a woman is married or not. ובמגרש, אשתו ולנה בפונדק, and if you divorce your wife and then you were alone with her in an inn, whether we require another get or not. Bekesef, ובשוה, with money and things that are equal to money, meaning the amount, pruta, shava pruta, the amount of money that's required to form a marriage or not. According to Beis Shammai, it's much more than according to Beis Hillel, so it's possible that if a man from Beis Shammai gave a woman from Beis Shammai a small amount of money to the Hariyat Mikdashesli, they would say there was no marriage here, even though Beis Hillel would say there was. Lo Nimna'u Beis Shammai meliשא נשים Beis Hillel, ולא נמנעו Beis Hillel meliשא נשים Beis Shammai. The Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai didn't stop from intermarrying to each other, even though, according to my opinion, these women, according to their opinion, would be mamzeros, and so I would be ineligible to marry them, or vice versa. Lilmod shechibas v'reus nohagim ze b'zeh. It's to teach you that they conducted themselves with love and affection toward each other. L'kayim mashen amar, to fulfill the pasuk in Zechariah, ha'emes v'shalom hayavu, that truth and peace they love. Reb Shimon Omer, nimna'u hem min nevadeh v'lo nimna'u min safek. Reb Shimon says they wouldn't marry if they knew 100% sure that according to us she was not permitted, or her mother was not permitted, and therefore this child is a mamzer. But if there was a question, meaning we don't know what happened, then we weren't concerned about it. Umasha min havadeh. What do you mean min havadeh? Yisroel. This is a prohibition. Sefik nami Yisroel. How can you say this? Even if there's a question, a sefik Yisroel is also aser. Lo tema min sefik. We're not saying min sefik. Ela ema min stam. Don't say in case of doubt. Say where they didn't tell us anything. Demodilahu parshe. Because they will make known to us, and we will separate it. So Rashi says, Kol kama de lav modia lahu, as long as they haven't told us that according to our opinion there's a problem, lo havi parshe, they wouldn't separate from them. Mistama de vadai I have hanach de lo svir lahu, havu modia lahu. Because it's clear, if they know, Beis Shammai knows Beis Hillel's opinion, and Beis Shammai knows, according to Beis Hillel, this would be a problem. So they would tell them, you can't marry into this family, because they conduct themselves according to our opinion, and therefore, according to you, it's mamzeros. According to us, it's fine. Now, that's the opinion of the Bavli. So Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel didn't accept each other's psak din. They paskined, but if a woman from Beis Hillel didn't get chalitza, and according to Beis Shammai she should, and then she married someone, Beis Shammai wouldn't marry those children because it's a problem for them. And so too, if she got married, she did yibum. According to Beis Shammai, it's fine. According to Beis Hillel, it would be a problem. The Yerushalmi learns differently. Afal pi shnechleku Beis Shammai Beis Hillel b'tzaros ובאחיות וget yashin ובספק isha eishas mekadesh b'shev בפרוטה ובמגרש אשתו ולנה בפונדק ואישה miskadesh b'dinar v'shabat dinar. Basically the same list of conditions where there's a machlokas between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel as to whether this woman is married or not, or marriageable or not. Lo nmna'u Beis Shammai lisa נשים מבית Hillel v'lo Beis Hillel מבית Shammai. Nonetheless, Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel did not refrain from marrying each other. Elo nohagim be'emes uv'shalom shenamar, but they conducted themselves with truth and peace, as it says, v'emes v'shalom ahevu, with love and peace, with truth and peace they were loving. Rabbi Yochanan b'shem Rabbi Yanai, elu ve'elu kehalacha hayu osim. Why is this? Rabbi Yanai said, it's because each side was going according to halacha, meaning Beis Shammai accepts that Beis Hillel has a different halachic opinion, and when they paskin and they act according to what they said, then they would accept it. Meaning the psak's been given, I accept his psak, I don't question it after the fact. So of course I can marry their women. They paskin. Once the psak is given, it's accepted. I might have done something different, but as it is, it's fine. So we have other things in the Yerushalmi, in Brachos. It says, "Kol harotze lahachmir al atzmo k'divrei linhog kechumrei Beis Shammai kechumrei Beis Hillel." Anyone who wants to be strict with himself and conduct himself as to the strictures of Beis Shammai and the strictures of Beis Hillel, al zeh ne'amar, about this, the pasuk in Kesel says, "Hakasil b'choshech holech," the fat head walks in the darkness. Kekule elu ve'elu, if he wants to conduct himself according to the leniencies of both of them, Rasha, he's evil. Elai kekule dedan ukechumrei dedan, or he must conduct himself according to the leniencies of this house and the strictures of this house, or kekule dedan v'chumrei dedan, or the leniencies and strictures of the other house. Hada detema ad shelo yatsa baskel. What are we talking about? Until the baskel came out, until the heavenly voice came out. Avo mishiyatzas baskel, but after the baskel came out, la'olam halacha kedivrei Beis Hillel. The halacha always follows Beis Hillel. V'kola overall divrei Beis Hillel chayv misa, and anyone who transgresses the opinion of Beis Hillel is liable to death penalty. Not that we're going to kill him, but that he's acting very inappropriately. Tani, Yatsa Baskel va'amro, the heavenly voice came out, and it said, Elu ve'elu divrei Elohim chaim, aval halacha kedivrei Beis Hillel. Both of these are the opinions of the living God, but the halacha follows Beis Hillel. Achen Yatsa Baskel, where was the Baskel? When did it happen? Rabbi Bibi Amar b'shem Rabbi Yochanan b'Yavne Yatsa Baskel. Rabbi Bibi said in Rabbi Yochanan, at the time when the Sanhedrin was sitting in Yavne, the Baskel came out and established that the halacha would follow the opinion of Beis Hillel. There is a Gemara in Eruvin that's very interesting, where it says, I'll do it briefly outside, for 3.5 years, Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai argued. Each one said the halacha is like us, and the Baskel came out and it said, Elu ve'elu divrei Elohim chaim, these and these are the words of the living God, the halacha k'Beis Hillel. But even though both are correct, the halacha follows Beis Hillel. V'kimi acher she'elu ve'elu divrei Elohim chaim mipnei ma zaku Beis Hillel likboa halacha kamosan. And if both are the words of the living God, why should Beis Hillel have the right to have the halacha like them any more than Beis Shammai? mipnei shenochim ve'elvonim hayu, because they were pleasant and they were forbearing. V'shonim divreihem v'divrei Beit Shammai. And when they taught their opinion, and they also taught the opinion of Beit Shammai. V'lo, not only this, but they would always teach Beit Shammai's opinion first. It's a very interesting thing about this. Rav Yaakov Ariel Shlita said that you can only argue with someone if you understand his opinion. If you don't understand his opinion, then how can you say he's wrong? I might think something else, but I have no way of saying my opinion is better than his if I can't understand him. In fact, if I don't understand him, it's more likely that he's right than I'm right. So if you want to be pleasant, you want to be forbearing with someone, first you have to understand them. Yes, I understand him. He has good logic. I also have good logic. And with two logical systems giving slightly different opinions on something, I prefer this for these reasons, and he prefers this for these reasons. So, what does this mean for us, practically? In Yoredea, in Hilchos Shchita, the laws of slaughter, it says Shchia Ketzad. There are 5 things that invalidate Shchita, slaughter. One of them is Shchia, a pause. So, the Shulchan Aruch asks, how long is the pause for? You started to slaughter the animal, and you raised your hand before you finished. And you paused, whether it was accidental or on purpose, whether I wanted to pause or say someone grabbed my arm. Ubahu or achar v'gemar hashchita. Either I came back to shacht or someone else finished the shchita. Imsha kadesh yigbia habehema v'yirbitzena v'yishchot rov v'simanim shuhechser shchita sapasula. If enough time passed so I could pick up the animal, lay it back down, and slaughter 2 of the simanim, meaning the esophagus and the arteries in the neck, then it's invalid. If I waited less time than that, then it would be a valid shchita. The Ramah, talking about the custom of the Ashkenazim, said, "Uminhag pashut b'medinos elu lahatrif kol shehiyah." And our custom is we say any pause at all invalidates it. So according to Sfardim, there can be a pause in the shechita, and according to Ashkenazim, there can't. This is one of many differences in the laws of slaughter, and it's almost always true that the Sfardim are much more makel, much more lenient in terms of slaughter than the Ashkenazim are. However, when it comes to inspecting the lungs, the halacha is the reverse. Hareya shenishbacha kekiton v'krum ha'elyon shela shalim. There is a liquid, so to speak, inside the lung, but the outside of it is complete below nekev, without any holes in it. Im hasimponos omdim bimkoman v'lo nimochu kshera. If the basic structure is correct and standing where it should be, it's kosher. Vim nimuk afilu simpon echad. But if some of them dissolved, treifa, then it's treifa. Ketzad osim. So what do? Nokvimoso v'shofchinoso bekli. You puncture it and pour it out. Shu shevea be'ever. Vim nira ba chutim levenim biyadua shnimoku hasimponim v'treifa. And if when you pour it out, you find small white strands, then you know the lung dissolved. Vim lav basar rea bilvad hu shinimoku. And if not, it's only the lung part, inner lung. Kasher, it's kosher. V'hushye mechui hamaim zach. And that is when the water that comes out is clear. Aval im hamakurim or sruchim treifa. But if they're discolored or rotten smelling, it's treifa. And the Ramah says, "V'yech machshirim afilu be'akurim v'sruchim." And the Ramah says, even if the water that you get out of the lung is colored or smelly, it's still kosher. And there are many, many other examples where the Ramah is lenient in Hilchos Treifos. So if you think about it, if a Sephardi is eating Sephardi meat, there are going to be times when, because of the laws of Shechita, it's going to be non-kosher meat for Ashkenazim, and vice versa. For Sephardi will have meat, the Ashkenazi will have meat that will be not kosher for the Sephardim. So it's asked Reb Shmuel Abuhav in his Shadz and Tuva Dvar Shmuel Siman Shin Chaf that Sephardim, they're traveling from Eretz Yisroel to raise money for the yeshiva in Eretz Yisroel, and they're traveling to Ashkenazi places. Can they eat the meat there? And he says that if you know that there's a problem with the lung according to the way Sephardim check it, then a Sephardi shouldn't eat it. But if you don't know, you can eat it. But he ignores a very important aspect to this question, meaning the Ashkenazi's dishes should be treif for the Sephardi, because even if this meat is fine, previous meat should have been not possible. So I feel that in a certain way, they're paskening like the Yerushalmi, not like the Bavli. Meaning, if it's already happened, there's nothing we can do about it. Then we say, fine, we'll accept your Pesach. The Sephardi is allowed to eat from Ashkenazi kelim, and the Ashkenazi is allowed to eat from Sephardi kelim. The only time there's a problem is if I know on this specific piece of meat, I hold it's aser and he holds it mutter. In that case, he should tell me this particular thing has a problem. But the fact that he's been eating meat that I hold problematic, that doesn't mean that I can't eat with him. It creates a unity in Klal Yisrael, a respect that each tradition respects every other tradition. That we have to understand that people do things in different ways, and that doesn't lower them in the eyes of halacha, that each one should keep, as we say, the chumras and kulas of his own tradition. And that's proper. If you try and keep the strictures of all traditions, that's like keeping the strictures of Shammai and Beis Hillel, and that's foolish. And if you have the leniencies of Shammai and Beis Hillel, then that's rishus, that's evilness. Everyone should have a respectful attitude to all other people, and everyone should have a wonderful day.